Outgrowing, and on today's episode, we're doing an early season garden tour. So, full disclaimer, the weeds are still a little out of control. I have worked endless hours trying to get that under control, but I've made a lot of progress, but there's still quite a few kicking around. So just keep in mind that it's pretty much just me with my own two hands that weed this garden. So, well, I guess I do have a couple tools, which I am going to show you guys along the way. But anyways, without further ado, let's start the garden tour. Okay, you guys, so this is the wild garden here. Back over there, that's where the tulips were, and in the back behind everything, that's kind of where I just trash all this compost for whatever needs to be compost, kind of back there. Anyways, so this is kind of the start of a perennial garden, and it's a little in disarray. There's a bit of everything everywhere, but we have irises. I'm not too sure what those are, but I have them kind of everywhere in different colors. So if anybody knows what those are, do tell me. They're beautiful, and I kind of have them everywhere. So I don't know what they are. Anyhow, we have quite a few peony bushes, and this is my first time ever getting peonies off this one. Well, off any of them, actually. I'm gonna get two. There's two buds. So that's exciting. There is lots of weeds. We have this perennial poppy there. I have a couple of those plants, some false sunflowers, which were given to me by a friend, Kathy, and every time I look at them, I'm reminded of her. So those are really special. I did plant, so what is planted in here right now, I stopped by a friend's greenhouse. I wanted to support her. Beach buds in bloom. I wanted to stop by and give her a little support this year. Well, I mean, whatever, every year. And I hadn't gone by yet. So last week I swung in there because I heard she has some lysianthus. And so I swung in and picked those up along with some alstroemerias. She gave me a bunch of snapdragons. And then I just planted, like, I had some seedlings that were looking pretty crappy, so I just I hadn't gotten them in the ground yet, so I just tossed them in there with everything. Also in the back there, that is perennial oregano, perennial mint. Finally, I have lavender that came back. I'm gonna cruise on in here. I've got some foxglove, some echinacea. Like, it's really weedy in here, so I gotta get to that yet. Yeah, lavender that I've never had come back before, and it did. So I'm so pumped. Yeah, so there's mint, there's oregano, and what else is coming in? There's a little bit of chamomile. Anyways, there's daffodil. Like, it's just kind of a big old schmozzle in here, which maybe one day I'll get it under control. But right now, that's the least of my concerns. I love this bed. I gotta snip all this oregano. I want to save it to make tea. The other night, I just came out here and grabbed a bunch of this spearmint, and I chopped it up and put it in my tea, or made tea out of it, and it was delish. And I think that oregano and that together might be yummy, yummy. So anyways, let's carry on. Oh my goodness. It's budding up. Oh, there are so many buds. So many. And so I have been wanting, it's bad shadow. I have been wanting to get blooms off this thing. So I'm going to this year. Like, look at it. It's like a huge hedge. It's crazy. Okay, so yeah. So the perennial garden, excuse the mess. This is my twine. Comes into the big garden. Okay, so we're going to go on a little tour here of the big garden. Okay, so we're in the big garden now, as I kind of just panned in here for you guys. And the front of it is flowers, and then out back is all, it's all veg. So let's start with the veg, and then we're gonna come around. The sun's in a weird spot right now, so I think I'll do all the veg and we'll tour that, and then we'll come back around. Guys, so in this bed here that's covered, this is kale, and all of the green Darkabor kale was planted in this front section of it. It is gone. Totally gone. There's not any of it left. So that is damaged from the flea beetles. Now in the back section, I had them opened up today, but I was just too busy to do the video. I was weeding in there, and then I replanted some stuff. So in the back part, there is the red valance kale, and there's some of it growing, and then I'd reseeded some a few weeks ago, and it's growing, and that's awesome. It is. You can see there's a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy. So anyways, I'm going to replant. I have seeds on order, the more kale seeds. I'm going to replant, and I mean that's okay because succession planting is all good. Anyway, here we have onions. We've got Spanish onions and red onions, and there's loads of them planted, so get growing. I planted the red ones, which are in the front. As you can see, they're shorter. Oh, hey, Danny. Oh, we got a cat here. Dun dun. Oh, your bum. Hey, little guy. Oh, you're so sweet. Hey, buddy. Aw. Anyhow, so the red ones were planted a couple weeks after that. Then under here we have, whoopsie daisy. We have cabbage in this under this row cover, and there's green and there's red cabbage, and yeah, so there's quite a few were gone. Like there was a lot of them that were taken out by the flea beetles, so I did replant a few of them. So that is there's lots of them there, but I just wanted to get as many as I can, so that's what's going on in this row cover. So I don't know how many are planted, but there's quite a few. Next up we have our row, or the start of our row of tomatoes. I was really hoping to rig up something different than the cages this year to have them in, because the cages are all getting ruined. And yes, but I ran out of time and they're getting pretty big. So to heck with that, we just put the cages back on them. Anyhow, so we have a lot of different kinds of tomatoes that I started. I started some basic beefsteak tomatoes, and then I also started tomatillos. So those tomatillos are like a Mexican style tomato that is amazing for doing any kind of like authentic Mexican cuisine or salsa. So anyways, I started some of them. So that's what's going on here, but we have lots. And then I did buy a couple cherry tomato plants because I didn't start any of those, and those are always a favorite for salads and whatnot. So this row goes on and on, but we'll check out the back here when we get up that way. So, and then, oh yeah, with the tomatoes as well, my friend Bryce, he grew a ton of different kinds, and I went over to his house and he like loaded me and my mom up with a ton of different kinds of tomatoes. So I don't have them marked out here, but I do have it all marked down in my garden journal. that I have it all logged exactly which is which all the way down to the end. So they start growing, I'll know which ones are which. But I'm very excited because he had so many different varieties of tomatoes growing, and yeah, I'm super pumped to see what all comes of that. So yay for that. Thanks, Bryce, for helping his sister out and donating pretty much. He almost gave them to us for free, the crazy man, but we gave him some cash money. But anyway, here we have, next we have our radishes. And they're coming in so the weeds are bad. I hate this patch here of dirt. It's terrible. So I was just talking to Mark and I said, there's another area that I'm going to plant more radishes in because I don't even know how these are going to turn out. But I said to Mark, like, we need to just bring a little manure in here. I don't even care if it's weedy because, like, it gets weedy anyways and I'm out here picking like a crazy woman. So I don't care. We need to bring manure in because right here, just in this spot, it's not everywhere, but this one spot, it is terrible. So here we have a pepper patch, one of two. We love hot peppers and I can jalapenos. So this has some iffy looking peppers, some really good looking ones. It's a bit of an interesting little mix here. I got a few of the weeds picked today, but just not a ton. It needs a little extra loving, but we'll get there. But yes, so these are peppers. Again, Bryce, he grew a bunch of pepper plants too. So he gave me some pepper plants as well. And those are all marked down in my garden journal too. So yeah, this is the pepper patch. Goes ways back there. So we should have lots because that's the second pepper patch. So okie dokie. Here's our twine. If you watched my little video, I gotta add some more twine, but I gotta fix it up a little bit yet. But anyways, that's our peas there. They're coming in, and I did just reseed another row of peas as well, so they'll be growing up. But yeah, I'm hoping it works out. Like, honestly, my peas last year didn't grow very tall, and so I had all this snow or chicken wire, and it really hardly used any of it. So I think this should be enough, but I don't know if it's going to be sturdy enough with this twine. I might have to find something different, but whatever. They're just starting to climb it now, so I'll be able to tell right away what's going to happen there. Oh, I got to cover these back up. Okay, so here, this was kind of a pleasant little surprise. This was a panic plant. So this is kohlrabi. And there are some that made it, but I noticed really early on that the flea beetles had pretty much taken out quite a few of the, you can see here, there's some that made it, and they're big, and actually quite a few, more than I thought. And so anyways, but I was like, oh my gosh, we need way more than that. So whoopsie, I panic planted. And we have this huge, beautiful row of them started. So I will thin them all out. You can see them all growing great. The bugs definitely got them a little bit, but not too bad. So I'll thin them out really, really good, and maybe even like replant some of them. I did that last year and it actually worked out good. I just was really gentle with taking them out. And so, yep. Yeah, so that's kohlrabi's. Purple ones, purple Vienna is what they're called. I had tons of them left over from last year, so I am using them up. But anyways, I gotta just cover it with this row cover, which has proved to be awesome. All right, next up, here we have our zucchini plants. So we have 3 yellow zucchini plants here. I can't remember the variety off the top of my head. You can hear the little killed deers in the background. And then 4 green zucchini plants. So we should have a huge abundance. Last year they just grew so crappy in the spot I had them. This year they're growing great. Like in a week, these things have like quadrupled in size. It's amazing. Okie dokie. Here is where this line is. I'll zoom in a bit. It's hard to tell because everything's really small. But on either side of this is just a bunch of herbs growing. And so I don't remember off the top of my head either, but we have cilantro I can see right here. And different kinds of basil. I do want to use some basil in my bouquets. Apparently that's a nice filler, so I do want to do that. Lots of basil. Then we have some chamomile, and I can see it just starting to come in. This stuff spreads like a hot damn, so I gotta be careful about that. But it's coming in, and I love chamomile because I make tea out of it. And last year I loved it, so it was awesome. To do chamomile tea, I was reading about it, and you pick the flowers when they're wide open, and that I guess is like when the oils are at a maximum in the plant or in the flower head. And so in the afternoon when they're wide open, I'm pretty sure that's what I read. Anyways, I'll look into that to double check, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when you do that. Then we have this is a big long row of this, oh gosh, what's that basil called? It's just everywhere because I want to use it in bouquets, so I planted a ton of it. And then we have fennel. Oh my goodness, I'm so pumped to have fennel successfully growing. And I started this by seed, so I am excited. It's looking so good. So I'm pumped about that. Oh, and I guess behind the fennel, we didn't do that yet. This is just a row of herbs that I bought already started because I like to have a big abundance going. So there's basil, purple basil, there's thyme, lots of basil. We love it. I do especially. So I love to make pesto. I love it on pizza. So there's thyme, parsley, lemon balm, mint, lemongrass, lavender. There's all kinds of goodness here. So this is one of my fave rows because it smells so good. But as you can see, everything is small still. Like it's coming, but it's small. So it'll get going. Here we are. This is beside the herbs that are over there, but there's a big bunch of rows, and trust me, I've already been in here weeding once, but I'm gonna need to get at it again here next weekend. But check it out. This is corn, and so last year I made a horrendous mistake of planting the corn way too close together. Pardon me. And so it grew, but it didn't grow as good as it should have. So this year I followed the instructions 100%, exactly what it said to do on the package, and I'm hoping for some good success. You can see it coming up there. That's the corn. So yeah, it's all coming up here nice. As are the weeds. The weeds are crazy. We've had an amazing amount of rain already this year, which is awesome, but it also brings on the weeds. Okay, so I'm gonna head around the back here so you guys can see what else is going on back there. So I'm just gonna quickly show you guys. I don't want this video to be forever and ever and ever, and we still have to get through the flowers. So I'm gonna quickly go through what we have growing here in this part, and then we're gonna zip around and do the flowers. First things first, here we have our row of spaghetti squash as well as butternut squash. So we have 4 plants of spaghetti squash, 4 mounds of them in this here. And then as we go further back, that's where the butternut squash is. So spaghetti squash and butternut squash. Way in the back is pumpkins, but we'll get back there too. So that's our first row here. Then under this row cover, this is our row of broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Just one big long row of it. it'll be interesting. I haven't opened it up yet. I know there's lots of weeds under there. And I had to transplant a bunch into it last weekend. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. But I want to keep everything kind of close together because it's got to be under netting. Because of obviously the flea beetles were one thing. But secondly, we get what's called a cabbage moth. And that's what lays eggs. And then the green caterpillars come. So I'm not entirely sure how things are doing under there right now, to be honest. I was hoping to get under it this weekend, but that's not the case. So anyways, that's all good. Whatever, it is what it is. I'll check it out next weekend, and if things are looking kind of crappy, then I'll have to rethink a different game plan. Maybe buy some plants at a greenhouse or something. I have a few left that I could probably plant in myself, but they're kind of looking a little shoddy, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. It could be surprising. You know, I've surprised myself already with the kohlrabi, so we'll see. Next here is our row of beans, which is a huge fan favorite. My subscription members love beans, so I've got green ones growing this year, green, yellow, and some purple. Just a small amount of purple ones just to try them out for fun. But yeah, we've got a whole big long row. So I've got succession planted, and my second row came up so freaking fast, which is blowing my mind. So I may even do one more row. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes, but they're looking fabulous. So I am happy about that. Oh, and as you can see, Mark was bugging me yesterday because he was, or was that today? But he's like, oh, are you going to have, where the tulips are. Oh, are you going to have some tulips popping up next year? I was like, oh, probably. He's like, yeah, Krista and her volunteer everything. Well, here's a volunteer onion because it's hard to get everything cleaned up. Anyway, yeah, that's looking good. This row here, again, I didn't get under this. You can see there's weeds just wanting to get out. But this is the rutabaga and the turnips in here. Again, they were getting trashed by the flea beetles, so I covered them up, and I already seen some cabbage moths kicking around, so I covered them up, and they're under here. I will get to them next weekend. By that time, the weeds will be big, but so will the plants, so that'll be helpful. And okay, you guys, so here's the rest of the tomato row. As you can see, it's big. Like, we got lots of tomato plants planted. Then, okay, we'll get to there. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I just love everything growing so much. In here, it's hard to tell, but right, because I did not get this weeded, so this is a bit of a nasty spot. Oh yeah, there's a couple things behind me too. Okay, so this is a Swiss chard, and it's coming. I did start another row of it. So you can see tiny little ones, then we have bigger ones, and then, yeah, but I gotta weed this big time. So that's on my first things to do next weekend when I'm here. This has been a challenge, this bed. Okay, so this one where the radishes are, it's long, and I've got a few things planted. So it was radishes, head lettuce, romaine. Well, the problem is my weeds look a lot like lettuce. So I've been struggling to find which is which in these rows. Finally, the head lettuce is big enough. I found them. And some of the romaine, you can see, like, these are a couple growing here, but you can see how closely they look to the weeds. So it's nearly impossible. So you almost have to let them grow, but then they don't grow very good because the weeds, oh, it's challenging. Anyways, but I did plant one extra row of each of them today, so we'll have extras. Then this lovely row in the middle here, that is bunching green onions and bunching red onions. And that is, again, like, look at all that grass growing, and it looks just like the onions would. So I went in there and kind of picked out the big weeds, and I can see there are onions, but I just need them to grow a little bit bigger so that I'm able to get in there and really pick them out, the weeds. But the onions are coming, so hooray for that. And I did plant some more. So okay, and that row is butt up with the pepper patch there. So okay, yeah, I'm super pumped that all my tomatoes that I started are growing beautifully. So these are tomatillo plants, and they're kind of wonky because I grew them weird, but anyways, look they're getting flowers on them. And these I started from seed. Oh, so pumped. Okay, other things here, eggplant, more peppers. So here we have an eggplant, and I have a bunch of them growing up here. and then peppers behind them. And again, I started these all from seed, so happy. They are taking a little bit of time to get rolling, but they're coming. Oh, there's the queen. Hello, queen. Oh, she's so pretty. Hey, princess. Aww. Okay. Oh, and okay, this part's a bit daunting. Whoop. Okay, here's celery, and it's growing really good. I started all these myself. I'm happy about it. I need to get more weeding done. They're doing awesome. I'm so pumped. I learned so many things about starting seeds this year that I didn't know before, but let me tell you, I will talk a lot about that when I'm starting seeds, or maybe in another video. But right now, I'm super proud of my celery that's growing. So here beside the celery, very hard to see what it is as well, but we have carrots. 3 different kinds. We have our Nantes, the orange ones, we have some purple ones, and we have some red ones. So we have 3 rows. They're just coming, so again, it was hard for me to get in there and weed it very good. So that I'm going to do next weekend. I think by next weekend, everything will be big enough that it'll be pretty easy for me to get in there. And then on the other side of this row, again, it's a mess, and you can see where Cheryl is. I'm just, oh, she's so cute. This side here has just been a lot for me, and it's overwhelming, and I've been avoiding it, to be honest. But I will get to it next weekend. It's on my list of things I have to do. But that's leeks, and it's my first time growing leeks, and I started them all myself, so they are coming too. There's just a few I transplanted in because I had a few more. And then, yeah, there's like a hole. Hi, girly. She's the queen of the house. And a heart, again, there is grass growing in there, but you can see them. They're coming. They kind of look like an onion. You can kind of see. Yep, they're coming. But there's going to be lots, which is my first time growing leeks as well. So I'm very excited about that. And then just as a kind of an experiment trial again, I do have on the other side of the celery, I do have one small row of parsnips growing. It's my first, I've grown them once before. They didn't do too great, so I'm trying one more time, but there's just one row of them, so we'll see. Not a huge commitment. Here is the patch of, this is the Russian red garlic. And you guys, oh my gosh, I saw a couple scapes on them today. I am a little concerned as to why they have gone yellow so quickly on the tips. That is a little unusual. I don't know I was thinking maybe it's from overwatering, but I don't think I've overwatered. I mean, we've had quite a bit of rain, but it was like dry in here, so I don't know. Who knows? What do you do? So I'm watering them right now because I don't know if we're going to get any rain this week. Next up here we have our beets. So we have the Detroit red, we have the Boulder orange ones, and then we have the Avalanche white ones, which are new for me to grow. So there's a row of each of them growing here, and they're coming up beautifully. Again, so are the weeds, but I started to pick at them today, but didn't get all of them. But they're coming. And here we have our cucumbers. Half this row is the Marketmore slicers, and then the other half is the pickling cukes. So one big awesome row there. So now I'll take you back to the back. So back here is one of the potato patches, and they're coming up. So are the weeds. So I planted Yukon Golds and some red potatoes. I can't remember the exact variety. But anyway, there's a bunch growing in here. Yeah, that's one of 2 potato patches. So there's that. Here we have our pumpkins. They're growing pretty good compared to last year, so I'm pretty excited about that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pumpkins. 6 pumpkins plants or hills planted. So great. Okay, and here we have, now friends, this is amazing. This is the 1000 Mexican purple garlic, and they're doing so good. In fact, I would go so far as to say that after being roasted a bit by the fire that we had there in the burn pile, they're doing awesome. So that is amazing. They're looking good. I haven't seen any escapes popping out on these ones yet, but they're probably very close as well. So very exciting for that. Awesome. Okay, so now this is a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, that's the vegetable garden pretty much in a nutshell there. This was the extra patch. Oh, this is what I was afraid of, but it's okay. When I have a few spare minutes of downtime, I can get in here. I've got this awesome little handheld cultivator that helps me to weed stuff. But this is where I planted all the extra potato plants in this area, as well as the last of the onion plants or onion sets. So you guys, like, it's weedier than weedy, but you know what? They were just gonna go to waste anyway. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna plant them in here and do her up. So here you can see all the onions coming up. I mean, it's hard to see because the weeds are extra. But yeah, they're coming up. So this is just kind of a schmozzle because when I was bringing them over here, the bag ripped of the onions, and so they just kind of went everywhere. But hey, you never know. They may grow really awesome. They may not, but they won't be wasted regardless. So that's the vegetable garden tour. Now we're off to the flowers. Okay, you guys, so we're up at the flower patch now, and I want you to know one thing. When I got here on Friday, this was all a sea of green because all these weeds just exploded. So there is still a ton of weeds because the flowers are really small. And these ones, the majority of them I planted by seed. There are some that I planted by seedling, but most of them are by seed. So again, it's like that waiting game of waiting for them to come up so that you can tell what is what. So anyways, I'm going to quickly blaze through this here because there's lots of them and it could take forever. But anyway, yeah, we'll just get on with it, and then you guys can kind of see what's all happening. And I'm hot and sweaty right now. Oh my goodness, it's like so humid here right now. And it was like 27 degrees today. But anyway, let's get on with it. Anyway, okay, first bed here is ornamental grass, and you can see it's poking up. So yes, I know what's the ornamental grass now, so I'll be able to pick all these little weeds out ASAP. And here is our calendula in our second bed, and that is all coming up really good too. Yeah, some weeds, but the calendula is really taken over, so that's great. Here we have Statice. It's blue. I can't remember the exact name, but I started these from seed, so they're coming. They were pretty small when I planted them out, and it gets windy up here, so they're doing good. I do need to do some more weeding, but they're doing good. Here we have verbena, and this is a perennial, I do believe. I had some seeds from last year, so I thought, well, I'm just going to try them. I must have tried them last year, but not had any success. But anyways, I've gotten them to grow, and they're coming along actually nicely. So you can see that's one of the plants there. So I have a little row of them, which is awesome. They're growing okay, so let's roll with it. Here we have our Bells of Ireland. Yeah. Whoopsie daisy. This is our Bells of Ireland patch, and last year I grew Bells of Ireland and they grew great. So we have them growing here. Lots of weeds in there too. Again, they're all similar, but yep, that's a Bells of Ireland. You can see, whoa, okay, let's back this up a bit. See if I can get my, Okay, you can see there with the little kind of rippled leaves, that there. And this is a big patch of them because they're so cool. Like when you pick them, they still continue to grow in the vase, so that's pretty awesome. Here we have our Cosmo patch. These Cosmos are, there's a whole bunch of, or there's like 3 or 4 different varieties in here. So I like Cosmos. They're not every flower grower's favorite, but they're kind of something I like, and they're really pretty and they grow abundantly. So I grew them. Here we have asters. Now they come late because I start them from seed, but they're coming, and I have one row there's 4 different colors. A dark blue, a light blue, apricot, and I think a white one. So there's weeds. I didn't totally get them all picked. Look at my crooked row. Way to go. Anyways, I gotta get in here some more. In here. Ooh. I cannot remember, and I cannot see what they are. Oh, yes, I can. This may be Nigella. This is them coming in there. Well, obviously you can see super small. The weeds are taking over. So I got to get in there and deal with this one too. Oh yeah, there's more coming up here too. So yeah, that's Nigella. That's starting. Those are really, really awesome too. Oh, here we have our Zins. These ones started by seed, so they're all emerging now, but again, they need to be weeded. But yeah, there's a few different kinds, varieties as well. But they're all coming up, and they're coming up good. So I find sometimes it's easier for me to start seeds in the ground. They can adapt to the climate and be good. Oh boy, some of these look like they're wilting. What's up with that? This is a snapdragon. It's really weedy, but there are snaps, and I haven't had great luck with snaps out here, so we'll see what happens. I did start these all by seed myself this winter. Look at this guy, looks sad. Maybe it needs more water. Might have to bring the water up here tonight yet. Okay. Oh, in here, this is gonna be carnations, but I planted them from seed as a little experiment, and I can find them starting. You can see they're starting. They're really hard to tell with the weeds, but they are coming. So there's a little bit of a row of them here. So we'll see what happens with them. You never know, late kind of fall, but it'll be a little bit of a filler. In these two here, where the weeds are coming, there is Bupleurum and one other. I can't quite remember. But they're not emerging yet, or I haven't spent a lot of time looking, so it's all green in there. But by next weekend, I should be able to get in there. And honestly, it doesn't take me long to get like ripping out those weeds. If it's a little bit moist, it's all good. So no problem. Here we have straw flowers. So they're looking a bit iffy, but some of them are looking iffy. Some of them are looking okay. I started them. We'll see what happens. They're a long one to grow, but we'll see. Then we have here glads. So this is a big bunch of a whole variety of different glads here, and I have still 200 I need to plant. I forgot about that. I'll have to do that next weekend. Anyhow, here we have carnations. I bought these because I love carnations, and I wanted to see some in this garden early because mine may not work out. So I just bought a few. So they're right there, and I got just one row of them. All good. If they grow, they grow. Whatever. Anyhow, this is kind of an exciting part for me. The weeds are just nuts out here. But here we have the sunflower patch, and each row is a different variety of sunflower. And that is going to be amazing. And I do have some to succession plant, and I should probably get on that here quick. To throw some extra seeds in, but that's that. And then we have amaranth, which is full of weeds, and then dill. Dill's a good bouquet greenery filler, as well as I need lots of it, so I'm actually going to plant more here next weekend. And then here's a couple things I need to plant that I didn't plant today. There's just some Spanish onions and some leeks. Dang, I gotta get those. I'll put them where I'm going to water tonight and they'll get wet. Oh my goodness, there's just a million things happening all the time for sure. So I'm just going to ditch these here. I got to water the corn, so I'm going to just put them there and they'll get wet. Okay, here is the lower flower garden. So we have yarrow. It's got lots of weeds in it, so I need to deal with that. We have rudbeckia that I started in the house, and they're coming along decent. They need to really bush out lots. Then I have rudbeckia from seed, which is hard to tell, but it is all coming in here. There's lots of it coming in. I can tell because the leaves are a little bit fuzzy, so that's some there. But anyways, I planted some by seed, so I'm hoping that they take over. Here is eucalyptus, you guys. My first time ever growing it, so I'm really pumped. I don't have a ton of them that made it, but I think what I do have should amount to something for the bouquets. So very cool. This is green Ammi, which is a great filler. It's coming. Oh, the mosquitoes are crazy. It'll fill this whole thing up in no time. Here are my glads that I first planted. So those are the ones I saved from last year. They're coming as well. Here is the Dusty Miller. That apparently is good for a filler for a bouquet, which I think they're so cute growing, just like the little silver leaves. Oh my God, they're awesome. Little fuzzy things. Here is a mixed bed. So I first started with Gomphrena. The Gomphrena crapped the bed on me. So I tossed in some snaps, and there's all kinds of amaranth growing. So I'm just gonna leave it a little mixed bag, because what do you do? Here is the, oh, this is more Ammi. There's white one, and then there's the purple one. I can't remember the exact name of it, but they're growing in this bed here. Also full of weeds, but they'll outgrow the weeds, no problem. Here's more Statice. And it's coming along nice, so I'm pretty pumped about it. It's my first time ever growing it. Here we have some Lisianthus. These buggers, I don't know about them. These are ones I started myself. They're coming, but they're slow to kind of get adjusted. Then we have here, which is, who knows what's going to happen with them. Anemones, I don't know. They're challenging. I don't know. I just don't know what to say about them, but we'll see what happens. And then on the other side is ranunculus. And they don't love it when it's hot, and it's been hot. So who knows what's going to happen over there too. Again, everything's just full of weeds. It's hard to get a handle on it. But okay, you guys, that about wraps up the garden tour. Sorry, it's a bit long because the garden is pretty freaking big. Anyway, that's my early season garden tour. I'll take you guys on a couple more tours over the course of the summer. Hopefully they'll be quicker. And just show you guys like how everything's growing, and you know that things aren't going to stay weedy forever. It's just a challenge at this time of year because it's like a perfect storm. You want to wait till everything emerges, and I mean I do everything by hand, so it's like or my trusty little cultivator. This thing, oh, I don't even know where I'd be without it. This is the cat's pajamas, and I tell you, it saves my life. It is amazing. Love it. But yeah, by hand I do everything. So you know what, I do the best I can. And then, well, my sister came out to help me last year. I'm really missing her help because she really helped me get caught up on a lot of weeds and stay ahead of that. So sadly she won't be home to help me out at this time. She'll be home a little bit later on. But yeah, she was like so like key in making my life way easier last summer with the garden. So anyways, I'm just, you know, doing it all on my own right now and doing the best that I can, but I think it's looking really great. And by the time I come back on the weekend, it'll probably be full of weeds again, and I got to start all over. But it is looking awesome, and I'm super pumped that everything's growing. So very, very exciting. Thank you for watching, you guys. And if you have any comments or any input or anything at all, feel free to comment in the comment section. Like the video if you like it, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and share away. Thank you for coming on the garden tour, and we'll see you next time.